With an accusation leveled and more, this is Wrestling Rambles. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we move on, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Rambles with notifications on, and don't forget to like the video. Revealing that he has signed a deal with WWE, Hulk Hogan said this on the Impulsive podcast. Working with Vince McMahon for all that time and now working with Nick Khan. I signed a 5-year deal. I'm 71 years old in a few weeks. I signed a 5-year deal for the licensing and merchandising stuff and ambassador stuff if they need me to do something for WrestleMania. I just love doing it. It's definitely different. What I feel with the leadership is working with Nick Khan now. He's more, for me, business cut and dry. He doesn't overthink the creative. Nick Khan is strictly business. I said, hey brother, this artwork that hasn't been used for 35 years. I need it for my real American beer. Nick Khan says, let me get back to you in a couple of days. No rush. He calls me back. We talked. I don't want to give numbers. You can use the artwork. I need X amount of percentage out of every $1,000,000 you make. Instead of me paying you guys hundreds and thousands of dollars and potentially millions of dollars, I can go out for $300 and have someone do this artwork that is reasonably similar, maybe reasonably confusing. Nick goes, let me just give it to you. Good, we're on the same team, brother. Nick was really cool. He made it really easy on me. Vince was great too, but I don't know if Vince would make that quick of a decision. Nick has been very easy, supportive, and helpful. The other day, the location for WrestleCon would be announced with it set on X. Location reveal. Join us in Las Vegas at the Westgate Las Vegas Hotel and Casino. A special discounted rooms is now available adjacent to the convention center. Free parking and a monorail stop on the front steps of the property to get you around everywhere in Vegas. Mentioning why he was not able to have a role in the Black Panther Wakanda Forever movie, former WWE World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest said this to Chris Van Vliet. It's a long story, but basically, it got taken away from me, but not from Marvel. Did you have the role? Yeah, Priest shared. Explaining why he stopped using one of his signature moves, Hit the Lights, which was seen as similar to Cody Rhodes' Crossroads finisher, Damian Priest said this in that same interview. That was pretty much the conversation. Actually, they didn't say you can't do it anymore. It was like a conversation of, look, obviously it's a similar move. It's different, but it's still similar. I do it differently, but it's one of those things. They were like, you might want to think about it, but they never said change it. And even Cody was like, you don't have to change it. I was like, yeah, but if you come back and I'm doing this move every time I hit it, people are going to think of you. But at the end of the day, it is a rolling cutter, right? So I was okay with it. So basically, anytime I face Cody, I'm gonna hit him with it. But look, it's a move. It's not that serious. I think everybody else thinks it's more serious than we do. I really didn't care. I was like, okay, I'll just go back to using the South of Heaven or Razor's Edge or the Flatliner that I do. I wasn't sure which one I wanted to use. I haven't even started using submissions yet, and I've got a few. There's a lot of stuff that we can do. I wasn't mad. I wasn't upset. I just didn't want people to think of him every time that I did a move. It's one thing paying homage to somebody. It's one thing to do a move similar to someone who works somewhere else. But when they work in the same company on the same show, it's like, all right, there's got to be a difference. Speaking about his previous run in AEW, Mark Henry told the Huge Pop podcast, I took a pay cut to go work at AEW. Don't get it twisted. I went there because I wanted to get experience being an executive, and I wanted to help that company flourish and help those people that were over there be better than they were. And you ask the talent, did Mark Henry try to help you? Hell yes, all the time. He would come and tell me this, and I would try it, and they would come and, man, that was good. Thank you. That's what I was working for. for. I was working for those high fives from guys and girls coming back, and then there's some bad apples, and the bad apples have to be disciplined. Oh, they're disciplining people now, but nobody wasn't getting suspended or disciplined when I was there. I don't remember. While when I said I took a pay cut to go to AEW, the best part of it was the insurance. Having corporate insurance, and I didn't have to pay the maximum amount anymore, because with my weight and the size of my family, I was paying over $4,000 a month on insurance alone. When I say I took a pay cut, I mean I could have a $40,000 month easily. God has really blessed me, and I got irons in the fire that well superseded what I was making there, so I'm not bitter at all. In that same interview, Mark Henry said this regarding potentially competing during his prior run with AEW. No, there were no talks of me competing for AEW. I'm an old, beat-up man. I'm not trying to have nobody whoop my ass. Going over the reason behind CM Punk's decisive win over Drew McIntyre during their strap match at Bash in Berlin, Dave Meltzer noted on Wrestling Observer Radio, Punk made him tap out. He gave him 4 GTSs and he touched all 4 corners without the other guy touching the corner behind him. They did tease that earlier in the match. The basic gist was Punk had not had a big win. He had been in the company since November and they just felt he needed a massive win because he's a massive star. They felt that Drew can handle it and Drew was going to get his heat back 2 days later. Taking to Instagram, WWE star Alexa Bliss posted a photo of herself as her dark character that she had with the late Bray Wyatt and wrote that she missed her. It remains to be seen when she makes a return to WWE. Revealing how he convinced Shawn Michaels to come out of retirement to team up with Triple H and face him and Kane in Saudi Arabia, The Undertaker noted on his 6 Feet Under podcast, "We've talked Shawn Michaels, who said he was not ever going to wrestle again and had no intentions of wrestling and did not want to. We're like, dude, you could do this in your sleep. Come on. It's you and Triple H against the Brothers of Destruction. How many years of ring time? We could all do this in our sleep. This is going to be easy money." We talked Shawn into it finally. Talking about the initial plan for him at WrestleMania 40, WWE Champion Cody Rhodes said this to Inside the Ropes. "If people knew the real plan for me, they'd be even more angry. I can't share the real plan for you. The Rock plan, whatever it may be. That was going to be on my mind in terms of how do we make that work? How do we accomplish that? I had a really good team of people around me. That's where DDP hit me with the famous 'whatever happens to you will be the best thing that ever happens to you' line, and I thought, that's insane. That's madness. I don't have a clue what you're talking about," and he was right, including if it had gone the other way. He would have been right because the audience was what mattered, and I got to be really quiet and I got to say nothing. I got to watch the fire grow, and I realized maybe I had every right to be confident. Maybe I had every right to not be concerned. But yeah, definitely, let's say it was a Wheatley vodka sponsored few days. When it comes to plans for the upcoming rematch between Cody Rhodes and the Bloodline Solo SIKOA, Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer noted that on the Cody SIKOA front, from what I was told, Cody and Solo are not scheduled for Bad Blood, but they are scheduled. I don't know when the match will be. They are obviously on Friday's show. They're going to set up a match. I wouldn't be surprised, but I have not been told this, but they may do it on the first show on the USA Network, which would be a week from Friday. With JBL making recent appearances in non-WWE promotions, this was said regarding his contract status with the company by Ringside News. According to a recent report from PW Insider, JBL is currently signed to a WWE Legends contract. This deal permits him to make appearances outside of WWE, provided he does not infringe on any of WWE's intellectual property. WWE has no objections to Layfield participating in non-WWE events, viewing it similarly to other WWE WWE Hall of Famers who make appearances in various capacities outside the company. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful had previously said, "I don't know if he's under WWE contract, but I know these people that booked him haven't gone through WWE to do it, if that makes sense. So they haven't needed approval from WWE on their end." Accusing a wrestler of abuse, ex-WWE star Amalete wrote this on X. Testimony, Tristan Archer. "I am writing with the conviction that you will listen to me with the utmost attention. Too many things have remained in the shadows, drowned in uncertainty, the absence of testimonies, and the blind protection of misinformed workers or those who choose to turn a blind eye. I swear that I will only speak about my own experience. These facts go beyond the immediate short-term interest of French wrestling and must be used to clean up this environment, even if it means bringing down its leading figures. I speak out now, concerned by anxiety, pressure, anger, and also fear. I know my testimony will be heard, and that things can finally change. I am including photos and testimonies of the physical and psychological consequences that I am still enduring today. I was the victim of extremely abusive and brazen behavior by the French wrestler Tristan Archer. My only fault was remaining silent all this time. I didn't speak out of shame, fear of not being heard, fear of retaliation. But today I act with the belief that everyone in this industry will stand firmly behind what is right. I also count on the unconditional support of the fans in this matter to cleanse this environment, but this story goes far beyond wrestling. It's a matter of justice, morality, and human conscience. It is crucial that you are aware of the impact this has had on me, on the wrestling work environment, and the consequences this behavior has had, can have, and will continue to have on this industry. These actions were observed by witnesses who have supported me, and I hope that my testimony will help free the remaining voices that are still tied down by fear or manipulated by this man. Tristan and I had a past relationship. It was marked by physical, psychological, and emotional abuse. He humiliated me, belittled me, cheated on me, destroyed my confidence, forced me to quit my studies, threatened me, and even threatened my family. He threatened to reveal intimate photos to my family if I did not obey him. When I had suicidal thoughts, he told me he wanted me to do everything he asked before, and that afterward I could die in peace. Since then, I live in constant fear that he will carry out his threats. This is just one example among many. He hit and pushed a close friend of mine onto the road when she tried to defend me and warn me about his unhealthy behavior. He then restrained me so that the woman he was having an affair with could hit me, leaving marks on my face for several months. I dissuaded my friend from filing a complaint at that time. Blinded by his influence, he has displayed violent behavior towards me, other women, colleagues, and fans. After some difficult times, everything settled down. He seemed to regret his actions, and I thought that people could change. But he never stopped contacting me. When I didn't respond to his messages, he would question me. Where were you? With whom? Why didn't you respond sooner if you were alone? I know you have someone, etc. And then he would become courteous again. I moved on when I signed with WWE. During this entire period, he was always kind to me, but he continued to send me messages asking for news, even though I hardly responded anymore, until one day when I ran into him on a flight to NXT UK. I immediately behaved professionally with him. I helped him get settled, then distanced myself, and everything went smoothly. He begged me not to talk about him during the speaking out movement. I was at peace and didn't want to cause him any harm. Despite his past actions, I chose not to speak before, during, or after the movement. However, his behavior towards me has recently escalated, leading to harassment, threats, intimidation, racist and misogynistic remarks, defamation among my colleagues and wrestling promoters, and attempts to sabotage my career. Indeed, after my departure from WWE, the first days were tough, but I felt supported by the French circuit. Everything went well at several shows with Tristan and others. The atmosphere was good, but he continued to watch me. He started to have increasingly intrusive behavior. I decided to stay away from him. I started hearing his defamations, his obsession, his relentless efforts to exclude me from shows and turn people against me, until one day everything erupted on the way to a show while I was no longer speaking to him. I heard him say that life was hard for him as a white man and that he never had any privileges, that life was easier for racial sexualized women. This made me break my silence, having truly experienced discrimination because of my origins. But according to him, the only reason I was signed was because I'm an Arab woman, because it sells more in the media, according to him and his white journalistic friends. This was followed by an onslaught against me, my appearance, my ability to be in the ring, my family, etc. It was too mentally overwhelming for me, so I decided to drive myself to the shows or have someone else drive me to avoid ever having to endure such behavior again. He created a fake account, Paul with Paul, Pika Pika 080888 /DBLegends2105, used daily since late 2019 to hide the fact that he had told his then girlfriend that he wouldn't contact me anymore, and he blocked me from his main account. This account was used to stalk me, stalk my loved ones, several people found him in their stories, and to perpetrate harassment, persistent, unsolicited messages, and all his manipulation to make himself look like the good guy afterward. He then discovered that I was in a relationship with someone. He stalked us, made insulting remarks about me to my partner in hopes of causing a breakup and sabotaging even my private life. He made very violent, defamatory, misogynistic remarks. Even before this person, he acted the same way with anyone interested in me. His obsession only grew, even displaying this behavior in the locker rooms during the wrestling events. He became very toxic again, spoke ill of me to promoters, caused me to lose bookings, harassed me, and intimidated me on the way to shows. I made sure to always be surrounded by a trusted person if I had to attend events where he was present. This behavior continued both at events for various promotions, WXW, Wrestling Cult, and during private interactions, causing me enormous psychological pressure. He even threatened to kick me out of the WXW locker room, claiming he was in charge there. Several people witnessed the scene. I took steps to distance myself from Tristan and ensure my well-being, even if it meant making sacrifices, such as stepping away from the ring, arranging my own travel for various shows without requesting reimbursement. The promotions where these incidents occurred, as well as WWE, were informed of his actions. The latter, given the gravity of the facts and the testimonies, decided to exclude him from the WWE Backlash France extras as well as any future participation in WWE events. Other informed promotions have also taken or will take necessary steps to remove him to ensure the maintenance of a healthy work environment. His constant threats and intimidation have had a devastating impact on my mental and emotional health, leading me to seek professional help and to organize my professional and personal life to avoid him at all costs. I've lost a lot of weight, just like when I was under his control, 45 kilograms, and I am going through severe episodes of anxiety, stress, and eating disorders daily, impacting all aspects of my life, my physical health, mental health, relationships, and activities. I feel like I'm dying slowly when all I wanted was to be left alone, photos included. He even dared to defame me by saying everywhere that the reason I lost weight was because I was taking cocaine when he is the only one responsible for my condition. This has to stop. My life depends on it. The defamation has gone as far as telling people that I was violent in the locker room with colleagues and friends. They can refute his claims. Your support and understanding mean the world to me, and I hope that together we can work toward a resolution that ensures the safety and well-being of everyone within the French wrestling community. This man is extremely toxic. The involvement and stance of all promotions are crucial to ensuring the healthiest environment possible. I have already initiated discussions with the press, workers, WWE, Wrestling Cult, WXW, and I hope to count on the support of all promoters, especially in France, fans, and anyone who can hear my voice to help me. I have already tried to discuss this internally within French wrestling, and it has always ended in failure. Today, I speak out publicly to try to make a change despite the fear of retaliation. In France, more than elsewhere, I believe it is more important than ever that these matters are exposed and revealed to the public, who deserve to see the true face of the wrestlers and protect women and future generations. I know he will try to defame and discredit my words as he always has, but this time, things will be different. I was pressured to resolve this internally. I had the support of all foreign promotions, but in France, the charade continues. No one wants to act. People find excuses because it's Tristan Archer. If it had been someone else, there there would have been no leniency. I trusted people in the industry who did not hesitate to put me in danger and report my testimony to Tristan, who has since been trying by all means to discredit me. Tristan can be very nice and friendly with people, helpful, kind, but that's just one side of his personality, which he reveals after every bad action to get forgiven. He is so skilled that people are willing to forgive him for anything, but not this time. I would like to emphasize that I have moved on. I have moved on with my life and put past mistakes behind me. He has not done the same. I gave him more chances than I can count. All I wanted was to be left alone. I never spoke ill of him, neither to his family or mutual friends, nor in the locker room. I always let him live his life, which was never the case for him. I was forced to defend myself. I have to choose me. It's hard, but I have to do it. A big thank you to all the workers who supported me, helped me defend myself, reminded me of who I am, and gave me the strength to speak out. All of the evidence and testimonies have been provided. I leave it to the competent authorities to handle the rest. I just want to be left alone, so please respect that. Legal actions are ongoing, and I will no longer back down from any pressure. Legal proceedings have been initiated, and I will no longer back down from any pressure. I am making this thread for my protection, to finally be able to move forward in my life, and to help the new generation break free from his grip. Sincerely, Amelie Dib. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.